Hello, this is Jim 12s and today is the 30th of November 2022, and today's little video is called Painting Lessons. Let me describe the project. Our front doors were in need of considerable renovation. The clear varnish on stained timber had received quite a few years of weathering, and down the bottom of the door in particular the varnish had become opaque and not very pleasant. It was flaking off. So the summer weather was here, so let's do a project. So I thought that what needed to be done first was to sand off all the clear varnish with an electric sander. That was proving very time consuming and a huge amount of dust which blew into the house, which wasn't very nice. The other thing, it was just taking so long, so frustrating. Anyway, I happened to bump into my librarian and she told me use a paint stripper. So I did. So this was my lesson number one. Make sure you're doing the right thing in the job. So I went off and bought some paint stripper and it was wonderful. Painted it on with a brush, left it up to an hour, no more, and then gently scraped it off with a scraper, and it all came off more or less down to bare wood, and there was hardly any sanding to be done. Oh, what a relief. So, but I didn't use any protective material, PPE, for when I was using the paint stripper. Since it was an outside door, I didn't think there would be a problem with the ventilation. And also the tin said it could be used indoors, so I didn't worry. Attached to this video you'll see pictures of the notes on the side of the tin, and they're quite revealing. Anyway, that was my first lesson, to use a paint stripper. Second lesson, use a respirator when painting with clear varnish. Let me tell you the story. Last Thursday I was on a bushwalk with my son, and occasionally felt rather dizzy, especially on climbing bits over rocks. Before last Thursday was the paint stripping operation, and before that the sanding in the early part of last week. Anyway, so that was Thursday last week. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I put on a layer of clear varnish on the front doors and the frame, one layer a day, and lightly sanded by hand between each layer as per the instructions on the tin. Anyway, Monday morning I got up at my normal time and absolutely felt disgusting. I managed to get downstairs, make a coffee for my wife who has it in bed, managed to bring it back to her bedside table, but then I spent the rest of the day in bed, mostly asleep, certainly with my eyes closed. I couldn't move without feeling absolutely awful. In the morning I had an episode of what I would call being sick without being sick. It was very painful, but nothing came out. But after doing that I did feel a bit better and slept. Then in the evening I had 2 episodes of being sick, The first time a small amount, and the second time multiple times, and large volumes of water. There was nothing much else. I hadn't eaten all day. So absolutely grotesque. It really was. I'm sorry for the gory details. So Tuesday, yesterday, I felt much better, no nausea, a bit of dizziness. And today, Wednesday, I'm nearly perfect, but a slight amount of dizziness. So what did I do today? I trotted off to Bunnings and bought a respirator. Exhibit number 1. So this I've learnt how to put on, and apparently it goes something like this, and then you put a strap, I don't know whether you can still hear me, around your neck, and then you have to do 2 tests. One with your hand here to see if you've got a face seal, and if you press in slightly there, the red bit should expand and contract with breathing, and I can feel it doing that. The other test is to put your hand over the inlets and do the same thing and test if you've got a good seal, and yes, I did. So that was a good thing. Now the tin of clear varnish did say talk about a respirator. I'd actually never seen a respirator before. I think I might have seen people wear them, but I had no idea what they were, and I certainly never anticipated the need to have one myself. But obviously I did. So all being well, tomorrow the 4th and final coat will go on the front doors and frame, but I'll be wearing that respirator. So, conclusion. It's important to read the instructions from the manufacturer. Yeah, I know that, but I wish I had done that. I've never knowingly poisoned myself before, and I hope I never do again, because I can certainly not recommend it. And finally, I hope that this video might save one person from having to go through the pain and trauma that I had to, and also putting my family through. It really reminded me of an occasion 30 years ago when I was in England, and I got back from a trip to Australia, and I was in bed, I remember, for 3 days. And at that time the doctor decided that I had viral labyrinthitis, and my memory of those days, my family will remind me, was that I was convinced I was dying, and that was one thing. The other thing is that I seriously could not move my head even on the pillow without feeling nauseous and throwing up, and I was in bed horizontal for 3 days. Now, was that viral labyrinthitis, or had I poisoned myself, and had I done some decorating prior to that? I can't remember. Well, did what I have this week, was it the same thing? Who knows? All I know is that certainly dizziness and nausea were the result of what I was doing, and my friends have told me I should have had a respirator. So I think that is the message. Read the manufacturer's instructions, and I hope you don't have the same pain as I did. Bye for now. The next 3 slides show what was on the tin for the paint stripper. This is a very interesting line on the tin of the paint stripper that says only use outdoors or in a well ventilated area. The next 3 slides show what is on the tin of the clear varnish.